Hello, my name is Kalin, and I am a student at the Faculty of Political Science here in Bucharest. And tonight I'm going to try and answer a question, a research question, if you will. Although, since this video is quite short, I am not sure how much of a grand thesis I can produce. Either way, the question, as you may be able to see on the screen, is why is the European Union more invested in the conflict in Israel than the United States of America? And in order to actually find an answer to this question, we are going to look through discourse. Here we are going to look at some press releases from EU representatives, especially the EEAS, because they have a special policy dedicated to the Middle Eastern peace process. And also because, in general, the EEAS is at the forefront of the European Union interactions with other states. From the US, we are going to look at press statements from the president himself, but also from the Department of State, Department of Defense, and any other relevant press releases on the matter. As such, we will be employing discourse theory, especially Wittgenstein, and also in order to explain what's going on both in the US and in the EU, but more predominantly in the US, we are going to use post-liberalism. Or at the very least, we will employ this concept that was presented in a more condensed manner by Stefan Borg in 2023. We are going to use this in order to actually encapsulate what we want to talk about. My thesis is that the EU actually cares about this conflict because it perpetuates violence which will at some point reach the EU. Meanwhile, the US is taking a more isolated stance, especially under the new president Donald Trump, because it's seeking a post-liberal outcome to the entire kerfuffle, let's say. Although that's a very bad word to use in such a monstrous situation. First off, arguably the biggest discrepancy between the EU and the US is the more limited discourse that the EU has because of its constant checks and balances. And to that avail, I think just looking at President Trump's entire portfolio on social media is a nightmare, but at the same time, it's very telling of what the perspective of the head of state of the U.S. is in regards to Gaza and in regards to Palestine. So you probably know this video of Donald Trump loves AI, generated content, and this is some sort of weird fever dream of Israel being rebuilt with Elon Musk thrown in the mix with Donald Trump memorabilia everywhere. It's horrendous. It's genuinely scary. When I first saw it, because I don't actually follow anybody on Instagram, so I had to receive it from a friend. When I saw it, it was jarring. I thought he got hacked or something. You know, like, you don't see a head of state just putting forth AI generated content like this, which is basically making fun of another culture or reducing it to memorabilia of yourself. And this angle where him and Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, just hang out, that's infuriating, honestly, which is deeply juxtaposed with the actions that the US does commit to this to this region and to this conflict. With Trump actually I think in the first week of him taking office, January 20th, reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid, a presidential action undertook by Trump, of which Section 3 was a 90-day pause in U.S. foreign development assistance in order to assess programmatic efficiencies, which means as like only a fraction of the U.S.'s foreign aid in Israel was retained, like very small, which basically means that Israel's closest ally is slightly out of the picture, and as such, there is even less of an international repercussion on Israel's actions. This would be enough, but juxtaposing this with the way the EU treats this, we just have like a massive discrepancy. Because even if the document, this presidential action, does indeed give some points as to why this is happening, as well as it being just a 90-day pause, which, if I'm not mistaken, was extended. This isn't something that was a one-off. Like, it's been continued. On the 4th of February, Netanyahu was the first foreign representative invited in the Oval Office, and Trump, as the title says, urged permanent relocation of all Gazans. It seems very discouraging to see a head of state act like this, almost like everything is a problem that can be very easily solved, which of course is entirely not the case. Especially as when Netanyahu declares something like Israel will end the war by winning the war, and Trump says nothing or he agrees with it. That is a show of force, a show of not caring about any sort of, not necessarily caring, but having any compassion or having any deep understanding of what's actually going on the ground. It feels like a conversation in a boardroom over some chess pieces, while the chess game that is being discussed is actually the millions, thousands and millions of people on the ground dying for no reason other than aggression from a state that doesn't want them. And here it's not all bleak, even if Israel is standing accused of murdering countless Palestinian civilians without a good motive, without proof of them being terrorists or affiliated or whatever. This stands in stark contrast with the remarks by the High Representative of the EEAS, Kaja Kalas, which in multiple statements, not only her, but also other people, other representatives, like, for example, the Office of the European Union representative in UNRWA, so the EU as an actor in a UN system, is publishing concerning, I am concerned. You don't often see a press release that starts with "I am concerned," with calling for respect of all civilians and humanitarian workers. In March of 2025, almost 2 years after the war has started, after 2 years of multiple incidents going on this exact thing. So while Trump is seizing and cutting all sort of all sort of funding, all sort of foreign aid in this situation. We have the commission, which on the 14th of April announces a multi-annual program for Palestinian recovery. So, in a way, this is kind of like a response to Trump's beautiful AI-generated Trump Gaza paradise. Only it's an actual policy. It's actually a plan on how to do it, and it's a support program. Nowhere here does it say there's gonna be statues of of Ursula von der Leyen or some other EU representative, like that AI video. Instead, this is more about reconstructing and rebuilding a war-torn area. And again, with this program, the EU reiterates its unwavering support for the Palestinian people and its commitment to a lasting and sustainable peace based on the two-state solution. So, again, the EU has a very clear answer that hasn't changed for quite some time on this matter. The EU is a stark supporter of the two-state solution. Meanwhile, the US has refused on a lot of counts to actually make a statement on this. Shifting things around, blaming people, or straight up refusing to talk. So, in that short overview, I believe I actually answered my research question, at least on a surface level. Of course, the question itself is a surface level question. We're not necessarily thinking of, is the US better, is the EU better? No, we are interested in this specific scenario. Who is helping out more? By estimates, not actual numbers constantly checking. Rather, who is helping out more and why? Why is the EU actually diverting more funds year by year as the US contracts their money? As a conclusion, it's pivotal. We analyze the discourse that comes not only grassroots but also from the top down. So the discourse of politicians, representatives, you name it, because it shows us what the diplomats believe should happen. And with that, it gives us the opportunity for us as citizens to disagree with that, and if needed, to actually call up your representative or go out in the street or any other form of protest to let these representatives know that the citizen, maybe one, maybe two, maybe 1,000, don't actually agree with the policies they are making. Or not even policies as much as statements and general directions. Because the EU's direction and the EU's idea on Israel and on the conflict in general isn't a simple answer. It's very complex. As I just showed, the program has a lot of data, it has a lot of money, it has a lot of explanations as to where that money is going, what's happening. It's not a yes or no question. It's way more complicated than that. So when you have a head of state making it seem like a yes or no question in a very post-liberal sort of way, it shifts the narrative in such a way that it ends up more bipolar than any of us would actually want it. And also, I need to read the thing. Let me open up my drive. The content of this material was created by Kalin Gutsu, student of the class External Action of the European Union, University of Bucharest, academic year 2024-2025. The material I've received technical support from is draw.io, the thing of which I use to make the diagram. And this is the list of all of the sites and all of the works I cited in this video. So those are the sources. Draw.io is the program I used for the diagram, and that's about it. Have a nice evening.